Nick, call on the clap. No. Don't call it. Hey, welcome to episode 117 of Front Seat Gamer. I'm Nick. I'm here with Saveun.
Yo.
And Blake.
Hey.
How's it going, guys? No guests this week. Why not? No, I'm kidding.
Just why not, Nick?
Yeah, if you want to email Nick at frontseatquestions@gmail.com, why not?
Yeah.
Just why not, Nick?
Hey, why not? Why not, Nick?
Yeah. Why not, Nick?
Dude,
really?
I've had so many. There's been so many. Well, there's been a few, not so many. there's been a few emails and tweets that always end in Blake. Why?
I love it. I love it. I love our fans. I love that they all just want to know why.
I can't answer them. I don't know why.
Well, just think about it. Let us know.
I'll let you
If
know.
you want Blake to let you know why, email BlakeY at frontseatquestions@gmail.com. You guys been playing anything?
All right, I'll take this one, guys.
Yeah.
I actually played Final Fantasy VII Remake, the demo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Unreal Engine game.
Mhm.
I played it on a base model PlayStation 4, just
Mhm.
at a friend's house. I did play the original, but I never completed it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
got up to the third disc.
Yeah, dude, that's where I got to.
Oh, yeah, I had
Is that-
the flying machine,
Yeah.
and then I just
Is that
gave
third
up.
disc drag or something?
The
that you
flying
just-
machine? Sid's airship?
Yeah.
Come
on. And that was a long time ago.
Yep.
I
But
beat that
yeah,
game.
it was good, man. It looks really good.
Yeah. So, because I remember last time I was like, we were talking about this.
Oh, the
and
battle
The
system,
battle
right?
stuff. I was like, oh, I'd rather it just be standard turn-based. Like, how is it actually?
You can do that. Like, it'll give you an option of what kind of battle system
Oh,
you want.
cool.
So you can select from that
Yeah.
or this hybrid system.
Yep.
Which is a cool way to handle it,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's the best way.
Did you finish the demo?
Yeah, it's really quick.
How long is it? Like, what is
20,
it?
30 minutes.
Take you up
You
to-
if you remember the start, you just go in and blow up a thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
that's
so
sort of what I figured. It was
it's
like
that.
the first, what was that reactor? Mako reactor?
I think so.
Yeah. So it starts you getting off the train,
Yep.
or yep.
You get off
okay.
the train, it looks gorgeous, and it's
Oh,
all
man.
gameplay. Barrett's in there. He's just yelling at you.
Perfect.
And
Is he swearing? He loved swearing.
I don't think he was swearing,
Aw.
but it's cartoonish, his behavior.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, it's just gorgeous, man. Like, the lighting is really
Yeah.
freaking great.
This has been in the making for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that they were gonna release it in increments.
Yeah.
Is that what you heard too?
I heard, yeah, like
in 3 installments?
episodic
Oh.
kind of thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that.
I don't
as
know that I
well.
love that.
And I remember mentioning it to someone, and they were like, "That's gross."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm pretty sure that's
Maybe
what they said."
Maybe they've changed it because I think the overall feeling was that it's gross.
Okay.
Like, so maybe they've changed their mind. Or something.
I'm not even like gonna play this game.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to see it.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it?
No.
So is
not at
it
all.
a free demo
Yeah, it is.
or just
Yeah, on
that you can just
PlayStation.
download?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm getting that after this podcast.
And it is good. I just I was looking at walls and everything.
Yep.
I was doing the
Yep.
stab thing.
So when you say it was good,
Yeah.
you mean it looks good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But did you have fun?
Looking at things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
What about
you know
when,
I did.
what about when you had to also press things?
It felt good. That tutorial, it's not like the whole thing is like a tutorial,
Yeah.
and then at the end, you're left to your devices. You kill this robot.
Yep. I remember the
But
first
there's a
boss.
lot of information to take in,
Mm.
and the way they tell it or give it to you is through a wall of text.
Mm.
So, not a fan.
No. Okay.
But it feels good. You know, the getting spells,
Mhm.
selecting targets, running around, and just
Did you what
hitting
mode
things.
did you play with? Did you play with the turn-based or did you play with
I went with the hybrid thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and
How was it? What do you?
like, I don't get into turn-based
Yeah.
or those kind of games, so it felt more actiony because I was running around the battlefield too. Combos were a thing. It's cool.
Mm.
Like, yeah, but easy setting. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't. It wasn't challenging or
Mm.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting because I I really do like that turn-based thing. It's just a different kind of like.
Mm.
It's a different kind of mindset where I'm like, all right, I'm going to sit here and think about what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And
As
that,
opposed to your normal state of being, which is just act.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wing it.
yeah, wing it. Because that's, I mean,
No thinking, just acting.
but you know, it's more strategy. You can like take your time and be like, all right, I'll get this person to attack, then this person like buff this person, heal this person, that sort of thing.
You can switch characters. You can queue up orders, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that, it started getting into like being way complex.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to run around and hit things.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. That's fine.
But yeah, I think the turn-based thing probably would be better.
I think it's fantastic that they gave the option
Mm.
because I was really worried that like the turn-based thing was just gone and they're just like, nope, this is the new system.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. Because I think that's the similar system to one of the newer Final Fantasies as well. Is the more action one.
14
Yeah.
or 15 or whatever
Whatever it's on. It was the one with the car.
Yeah.
8.
No, there was the Final Fantasy like from a couple years ago that was like, this is a road trip.
Yeah, no, I know the one.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. 7.
I don't know.
You go out of what's that city called?
Midgar?
Midgar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get out of Midgar.
Yeah. Get out of me, guy.
Man, that was like the first JRPG I think I ever played.
I think it was mine too.
Yeah, I think man, this is gonna be a deep cut for New Zealand kids television. But do you remember a show called Squirt TV?
Yeah.
So
They gave away Dreamcast.
Oh, so cool.
It was a CG penguin.
Yeah, it was a CG. Oh, dude, it was such an awesome thing. It was like a real. Okay, for listeners, it was like a real guy. He
Yep.
was like a host, but there was his sidekick. Instead of being like a puppet or something stupid, it was like a CG penguin, and he was sitting in a full CG set. It was so cool for the time. But anyway, they did a review. They did video game reviews, and they reviewed Final Fantasy, and they're talking about this is a role-playing game. And I was like, role-playing game? What is this? Because up until then, my idea of like video games was like Sonic and Mario, and role-playing games were like, I don't know. I didn't know what the hell that was. And yeah, and I saw that, and then I ended up like a year later or a couple years later, ended up getting it. And yeah, that was the first like JRPG I ever played as well.
Yeah. On your PlayStation?
On PlayStation, yeah.
That's cool.
I remember my brother bought it for PC, and it took us a really long time to figure out how to change the controls.
Oh.
Because the default controls used the numpad, I think. And so once we figured that out, there was still some like weird control quirks. My brother, I think I've talked about this on the podcast, had a real bad habit of getting like maybe a third of the way through a game and then stopping.
Yeah, I hear
that. He would also get annoyed with me if I beat his games before him, which fair enough. But those two things are very much at odds with each other. Where he would buy a game and never complete it, and that meant I could never complete it.
Yeah.
But I remember he really didn't want me to go past him in Final Fantasy VII, and he was up to, I think, Temple of the Ancients, which is sort of like maybe the last, like, maybe like 4/5 of the first disc.
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't allowed to go past the area I was in, which is, the big gun city? There's like a city, I forget the name of it, but it's got this huge cannon just sticking out of the side of the city.
Didn't Midgar have a giant cannon?
It did by disc 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But this was disc 1.
Okay, I don't know if I remember that.
It's like, and there's like a parade mini game.
Right.
Any of this ring a bell?
No.
I actually remember.
people.
I actually remember very little of it.
Okay.
I
Well,
remember some areas, but generally I don't really remember. I remember where I left off, which was like some big giant kaiju thing was slowly making its way towards Midgar. That's where I left off.
Right.
And the Midgar gun was like shooting at it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That would have been Diamond Weapon, I think. Anyway, the area I was in, there was a place called Fort Condor. Does that ring any bells? Had a tower defense mechanic.
I definitely don't remember.
Oh
that.
my god!
There's
Anyway,
a place you get through to by going on a gondola, I think. Is
What?
Yeah, pretty sure.
oh, you're thinking
that
of a
A different game?
the gold panning city or whatever that place is called. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah. There's like a big theme park.
Yes, I do remember a
Yeah,
theme
yeah.
park. Yeah.
Anyway, no, this is before that.
Okay.
I would just remember because I wasn't allowed to go past this area, I was just grinding monsters.
Oh,
and that
okay.
was all
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was doing, and I was ended up I think the monsters in that area were like level 22, and
man.
I was like level 40.
So
I just blew through the rest of the game after that.
what did you when you were just like fighting monsters over and over to get levels? What did you call that? Did you call it grinding or did you call it something else?
I don't think I called it anything because why would I ever tell anybody
Okay.
what I was doing?
I remember I used to do that before I'd heard the term grinding.
Yeah.
I used to just call it training.
Mm.
And because I'd be playing like a Final Fantasy, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Here's an area with some monsters that give a lot of XP. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just like train on these guys, like Goku and the kind of thing."
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, I'll train on these guys, and then go off and fight whatever.
Frieza. Yeah.
Fight Frieza.
Yeah, that's my strongest memory about Final Fantasy VII.
The big thing for me with Final Fantasy VII was that they had cinematics.
Yes.
Oh yes.
And that was groundbreaking.
Did you ever? You have siblings, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever like whenever there's a cutscene, go, "Oh my god, there's a cutscene!" and you call them in?
You'd do Knights of the Round,
Oh,
and you would get some popcorn,
yeah.
and you would wait 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every battle you had,
Yeah.
you'd do that one thing.
Yeah. Could you even skip past those?
No.
No.
You couldn't.
8, I think.
Oh, I tried.
Was it 8 that made it a little bit more interactive, where they have a quick time
Yes.
event for like damage?
Yes, you could just mash the select button, I think, or something.
Mm.
That was also miserable.
Yeah.
Because it was like it would say when you could press the button and when you couldn't, and that was all the mechanic was.
Yeah.
And if you press the button when you're not meant to press the button, it resets.
Eight was great.
8 was cool. I never played much of it.
Gunblades.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's such style. Gunblades, man. What an invention.
Yep.
I beat 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Whoa.
And then I don't think I played a little bit of 11, and then I kind of I dropped out of the series.
I've never beaten any of them. I
Yep.
played
Same here.
I played 9. I played 7. I played 7 quite a lot. I played 9 almost to the end, and 10, I don't know, maybe halfway through.
Yep.
I find this interesting because those are games that are primarily story driven.
Mhm.
So for me, the goal was to complete the story.
Yeah.
Why didn't you guys beat those games?
That for me, the grind was real. It was too much. The
So
open world,
it was the combat.
dude. I just felt lost as soon as like the map opened up,
Oh, okay.
and no direction, no.
And you
I
love
don't
open
remember-
world games so much now.
Yeah, I do. But there are icons and things you go towards. You can't really get too lost. Like if you follow main story of like a Rockstar game or a Horizon, there are blips, that you can just run towards.
But that's true of the Final Fantasies as well. There's like pretty clear indications where there's a town.
I mustn't have caught that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just didn't finish it.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I do remember Final Fantasy, but it wasn't like because Red Dead or Witcher, you open up your map and you see blips and you see icons of areas of interest, and you're like, oh, cool, I'll go through here. But Final Fantasy, I don't like. They didn't have that. You just had to fly around and physically see something of interest, and then land, and then you're in a level.
You had to actually explore.
Yeah, you had to actually explore.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't have time for that.
No.
yeah.
Okay.
But then if there's nothing in your like vicinity, you're like, what am I even doing?
Man, you guys make me sad.
But you haven't played The Last of Us, man.
This is true.
In the story game.
This is true. I should.
Well,
really should.
you might not need to because there's an HBO TV.
Cool, let's
show
watch that.
especially
That-
for it. Yep. It just
Really?
Yeah,
just
they just
news
announced
just
it.
broke yesterday.
Is it the one starring Nikolai Jamie Lannister?
What, Nick?
Isn't Jamie Lannister cast in that show?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
All I know
I
is
saw
that
a thing on Reddit. Maybe it was just someone
Maybe.
wishful thinking. I don't know.
maybe it was fan casts or something. But
What do you know about it?
So all I know is it's coming on HBO and it's the writers of Chernobyl doing it.
Okay.
Other than that, I haven't looked.
Is it going to follow the Joel and Ellie story?
Probably.
I hope it doesn't.
You do.
Because there are other interesting stories, I bet.
Well,
they
that
could
whole
make
world
up.
itself is pretty interesting anyway. It's an interesting kind of take on zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse.
Yeah, I think so.
And it would make for some really nice, like,
Pandemic stuff right now.
set. Well, yeah.
Oh my
Actually,
goodness.
perfect timing.
Yep.
But it would be like these awesome, like, scenes
Mm.
where it's just, a forest that's been taken over by weird
Oh,
mushroom
yeah.
thingies.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
got, because, regular zombie stuff, it's just like, the world is basically the same, just a little bit run down.
It just becomes a trash heap.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
becomes trash.
Yep.
But with this thing, there's like fungus shit growing all over the place and spores in the air
Yep.
and like,
Do love
gross
fungus.
stuff happening. Yeah.
Love me some fungus.
Yeah. Yeah, you're saying about why we didn't finish Final
Yeah.
Fantasies. I think I just got to a point where like I'd take a break and then come back and then be like, I don't remember anything that's happening in the story. I don't remember where I am. I don't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. That happened with 9 was the one I played the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really close to the end, and I think I was on like one of the end bosses, and it was really hard to beat. And I took a break from it, and then when I came back, I was just like, "What's going on? I have no idea."
And then you just said, I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
Wow. Oh, well.
yeah.
Yeah, but then Advent Children came out, and I watched that. and I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see what's
Advent
happening.
Children.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Advent Children.
I was studying at, I think, a place called NatCo
Oh,
in
yeah,
Wellington.
yeah.
This was like 2005 when that came out, and that was incredible.
Mm.
So, from me working on like cubes and
Oh,
just
yeah.
turning things like
Yeah.
reflections up like really high, and just waiting for like, I don't know, 23-hour renders.
Oh, doing a ray trace render to be
Of
like,
a cube?
yeah, look at this like metal cube.
Yeah. And then I saw that, and I was like, what the hell? No.
Do you remember Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within
Oh yeah, I
Yep.
saw that in the cinema too.
Yeah.
with like the photorealistic eyeball in the
Yeah.
trailer? Oh,
It's great.
So do you remember Jonathan was on here and he was talking about this and he dropped some facts that I didn't know about that. Is that movie was the thing that made them merge with
with
Enix?
I did not. know
Yeah.
that.
Because they
They
took
spent so
such
much
a
money.
they took such a hit on that
Yeah.
that
Wow.
they needed to merge with another company
Yeah.
to like keep going.
Holy.
Yeah, they lost so much on that.
So SquareSoft was the thing before
Yeah.
it? Okay.
No, it's
Yeah,
Square
yeah.
Enix. Enix was another RPG developer. They made some really good Super Nintendo RPGs. One of them, I'm trying to remember, I think something with Arc in the name. It was a really cool little action RPG where you had like you were a guy with a spear and the world is asleep and you have to slowly wake up the world.
Well, that's
also,
weird.
it turns out that like the part of the world you're living on is the outer shell.
Huh.
Like imagine Halo.
Yeah.
Except that it's like a halo sphere, and then on the inside is the Earth.
Yeah.
And so you're walking around on the outside the whole time, and then you
Wait,
finally
how
make-
does the sun work? How does the light work?
Shh.
Oh no, they don't talk about
I
it.
don't think they ever
Oh,
addressed
okay.
that.
Yeah, I that's funny because a friend of mine talked about like he wanted to make a show, like a he'd just be a 2D artist, but he wanted the universe to actually be, the actual universe is finite, and
Yeah.
there are edges of this universe, and then people are just walking around on the inside of this universe, and I was like, wait, how do the stars work? And he's like, no.
Oh, don't think about that.
Wait, that's not interesting.
Yeah.
So
That's
these-
just people holding lighters.
So all these planets that have fallen on the edge of this universe, that's where it's set.
Man. I always liked. Did we talk about this on here? That of a because you know how like there's the idea of Hollow Earth and there's like people inside, but then it's like what if you're basically you're on a hollow Earth, but it's basically a cavity inside just the Earth, and you've got like other hollows like in other places, and so to travel you like sort of dig through the Earth.
Yeah,
to
there's
these
like
other-
termites or something.
Yeah. I always like the idea.
Like you live in Earth bubbles, basically.
Yeah, you live in Earth bubbles, and there's like a sun in the center.
The
and
Earth is a sourdough.
Yeah, and I remember like talking to Rory about this, and we got really into like, what would it like? How would the sun work in like that kind of like thing? And like,
It wouldn't.
It
man.
wouldn't
It's just
at all.
geothermal
yeah.
heat.
And there was like this whole like apparently there's Reddit threads about this exact
Oh,
kind
okay,
of thing. Like
cool.
this is an idea that other people have had independently, and I'm like, that would be such a cool I think that would be an interesting setting for like some sort of video game or story, or maybe not video game, but like some sort of story where it's like these people, they think this is just the world, and then something comes up and it's like from underground, and it's like, wait a minute, there's actually other weird bubbles just like right next to us, but we don't know.
I won't try. I'm going to not try and spoil anything.
Yeah.
But you should read Seven Eves.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
Okay.
Right.
Seven Eves.
Yeah. It relates to your idea.
Okay. You mean they stole it?
Yeah, they stole your idea.
Motherfuckers. I'll get my lawyer to read it. How about that?
Okay, sounds good. And it was published like 5 years ago, so.
Oh, well, I had
Maybe
this
6.
idea. Shit. Damn it.
Can I ask you something? I got into a lot of graphic talk conversations over the last week.
Yeah.
Do you think, Nick, that ray tracing will change the video game landscape in some way? With these new consoles, companies are touting like ray tracing technology, right?
Yeah.
Real time ray tracing.
I mean, so they've done ray tracing for gameplay reasons a lot.
Have
right?
they?
Yeah, for like line of sight. And like they do it. They don't. I mean, graphics are much more intensive for that purpose. So ray tracing is not a new thing by any means, but using ray tracing as a graphics technique and having the hardware that can actually render that. Do I think this will like revolutionize gaming? No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Why? What makes you say that?
Because it will make graphics more realistic. But that's it, in my opinion.
Do you think that there is a knock-on influence gameplay component of that? The obvious one would be reflections.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is like how do you utilize reflections in a way that ray tracing is necessary.
I guess a crazy example would be you're in a mirror maze and it's a first-person shooter.
Okay.
But that's just like a cool game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but you've never seen that before, I guess.
Yeah, I
No.
suppose that's true.
But you could do that without ray tracing.
No, I'm aware of this. Well, what technique is are you talking about?
Like you could just do basic. Like okay, Portal uses can create multiple rooms.
You're actually talking about you have a duplicate model of the
Yeah.
thing.
You just do that all with code.
Yep. Not the same, but
no, it's not the same. It's not a true reflection, but you can simulate the reflection.
Yeah.
And the gameplay would be basically functionally identical. It just wouldn't look as good.
Why haven't we seen that? I guess it's not interesting.
In the case of the Mirror Maze first-person shooter specifically, I don't know. From a gameplay standpoint, that would be an interesting game for a little while. The issue I would run into is I would expect to be able to shoot the mirrors to break them.
Yeah.
And then at that point, like...
Why wouldn't that be an option?
Right. So I think, the issue would have to be like you only have one bullet.
Well, maybe there's only one gun that can break the mirrors and then another gun. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, if you're breaking mirrors, it kind of, to me, it defeats the whole point of the Mirror Maze.
Yeah.
So I think the way I would do it is you get one shot. Every character gets one shot.
What if it's all like lasers though, and you got to bounce your
That'd be
laser
fun.
off all these mirrors to like hit
Yep.
the target?
And you can shoot yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can accidentally shoot yourself.
That's interesting. I can see this being quite frustrating.
Yeah. It does seem like
Everyone's a camper.
yeah, everyone's a camper. It actually kind of sounds like a Portal type of like puzzle game almost. Yeah, where you're like,
I think that ray tracing will make simulations much better.
How so?
In like VR, because it's all about immersion, and the closer you can get to reality on that, like on the sense front.
How would rendering light differently make simulations better? Look better?
It'll fool your brain more easily.
I think you're talking about particles, right? Are you talking about physics and particles?
What?
Are you talking about something else? Effects?
I'm talking like you VR, right? You put on your VR headset, and if the hardware is good enough to do like good ray tracing and the lighting is all looking realistic, it will be much easier to fool yourself into thinking that the virtual reality is reality, right? And then so it's
just
a much more immersive
realistic
experience.
stuff. But there's
Yes.
still you can have an immersive experience in a cartoony world.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
That's why I specify like simulations.
Yeah.
Right. It's got to be, the whole point of it has to be that you think it's reality.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, I think it feels like a loaded question. Clearly, the answer is you think it'll revolutionise gaming.
No.
No?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Interesting.
have you looked into this?
I've
You're an
not- I
artist.
mean, yeah. So they say.
You claim to be an artist.
Yeah.
I should explain for people who don't know what ray tracing is. That's simulating the flow of light waves against surfaces, correct?
Kinda. It would draw like a ray from the light to the camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're specifically talking about real-time ray tracing, which is
Yeah.
like quite a new thing.
Yeah.
In video games, because there are some games, right, that there are games out now that have
Metro,
it, right?
Battlefield 5,
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, the last
Okay.
Tomb Raider. And basically, these RTX cards enabled
Yeah.
some form of ray tracing, but it was not ray tracing like in movies. It was the lowest end ray tracing you can get,
Right.
like 1 pixel, one sample, and it was aggressively like denoised
Okay.
is the technology.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, what do you got?
I just think it'll make stuff look better. Like, I mean, that's really just it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's going to revolutionize anything. It's just a bump, another bump in graphics.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of it's basically kind of expected as we move forward in graphics, like, and we're heading towards more realistic stuff. It's kind of expected that we'd eventually get to like real-time ray tracing.
Yeah, I like that. I guess smaller studios can like capitalize on that technology, but I don't like the technology.
Yeah.
Only because you can achieve like 90%, 95% of that look through the old
Yeah.
rasterizing method, like
Yeah.
deferred rendering,
But
with like a GI,
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know what
GI
you mean.
standing for global illumination.
Yeah,
But I guess the thing is, like, this is still like fairly early.
it is. Yeah,
So in 10 years, you might just be like, it's easier just to turn on ray tracing than
yeah, it
anything,
might be
It's
easier,
like-
but my issue is it worth the expense of ray tracing?
I find this very interesting because I would have thought you would be gung ho
Yeah.
about getting
I know.
to photorealism.
I'm arguing a point that I heard in the office talking to Dr. Alex,
yeah,
because yes, I think if you ask people that don't know about it and the current technology of like screen space reflections and screen space global illumination, then they would think you could only pull off that kind of look with ray tracing,
right, yeah,
which is very expensive.
Mm.
So I advocate for the cheaper one that
Sure.
gets 95% of that.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it while you've been talking. I think that you could make new puzzles and new game mechanics with like real-time ray tracing, but it would be the sort of situation where it's like, oh, do you remember when physics was first added to the game, and every game had
Half-Life 2.
every game had a seesaw puzzle. So that would be my prediction: is you'll have a period of a few years where every game will have a puzzle where you have to shine a light at a thing, and it'll
You've got a torch.
yeah.
it'll bounce realistically, and at a certain angle, it'll like reveal a message or whatever. Every game will have that for a few years, and then it'll just be used to make graphics pretty.
Yeah, I like who's making this technology? It's a graphics card.
Who's
company, right?
making the ray tracing?
Yeah.
Apparently, these are AMD powered consoles.
Yeah.
So AMD, along with Microsoft and PlayStation.
So it just seems like they're just pushing for like whatever is the next thing that they can do.
Yes.
Yep.
It's
it
like
seems that way.
we're just, and then once that becomes, I guess, a normal thing, they'll push for something else.
Yep.
That
This is this is how the games industry has gone since
yeah.
the dawn of it, right? It has always been the next step up in graphics.
Well, I mean, remember
with the exception of Nintendo.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Well, remember like early we were talking about Star Fox and how it had that the very first Star Fox and it had that really gross early
Oh yes,
3D.
used actual polygons.
Right. If you saw that and were like, you could make something so much better in 2D, you know. But it's the 20 years later that is where 3D really becomes like
yes,
looks great and looks like better than 2D kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm thinking with this ray trace thing. Is like, yeah, you can do you can do it cheaper and you can do it. It's not worth maybe having it in right now in a lot of games, but in like 10, 15 years, it just might be so. I don't know. It might become cheaper or something, or whatever. That it's just a standard thing that
I think that's an inevitability.
Yeah.
I think that over time we're only going to see graphics improve. It's not going to go down unless like the world economy tanks in such a hard way that we
interesting
have to start using
man,
terrible computers.
This is a reference to an earlier conversation about the economy.
But that's probably not going to happen, right?
Who knows? So I think that it's an inevitability that like all of these new graphical techniques will eventually be like pulled together, you know, and continually improved upon. I don't think we will see. I don't think this is really comparable to like the leap from 2D to 3D.
No, I don't think so.
That unlocked unbelievable gameplay possibilities that like Mario 64 could not exist in if you weren't using 3D graphics, you know. So I cannot, unless someone tells me about this great game idea they had where that uses ray tracing.
Or is like the invention of normal maps like a closer comparison?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, to this ray tracing one?
Yeah, because like remember early normal maps kind of looked pretty lumpy and gross.
I don't think so.
I remember like some early.
You're talking PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
Yeah, this is real.
But
early.
like, yeah, Gears of War like came out early.
Oh yeah, they were really good.
It's a bit similar to like I remember when a game called Forsaken came out on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
and its big innovation is it had light sourcing.
Right.
Yeah.
It put out a light, and if you shot a bullet, that bullet would illuminate things as it passed by them, and it was like wow.
Yep.
This is like that to me. This is like, oh yeah, cool. It looks a little better.
Yeah.
It looks a little more right.
I've heard other people talk about it and how like real time shadows became a thing, and it was a thing of like, oh crap, this guy ran around the corner. I can see the shadow.
Yeah.
I'm shooting this guy.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, you know, the application for
you might see some subtle light changes and glean some information from that.
Like off a car bonnet, you know, you see this reflection.
Okay. I mean, maybe
you could use like in a hardcore like military game, you could get those little mirrors that see around corners. Like,
yep.
Oh yeah, there's definitely someone there.
Yep.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess. I don't know. It's like I can picture games using this in such a ham-fisted way that it becomes annoying.
Well, in a way that like this
dumb.
is the feature of the game.
It's like when there's this very clearly conspicuously placed, very shiny car placed at the corner of the street, so you can see in its reflection that there's a guy around the corner.
Yeah. I don't think we've really like felt 3D properly though, just through a controller. Like just because how
I think VR is a much more closer
for sure.
Closer leap in terms of how we interact with games and how games are going to be developed than.
Well, VR will definitely be a thing of like you look into a puddle and you see the reflection of yourself of like the character instead of you play a game that just doesn't have puddle reflections or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know.
But like it's the innovation there is not the reflection.
Yeah.
It's the movement matching what you're doing and feeling immersed.
Well, movement in VR is the biggest hurdle still, I think.
Yep.
Like how do you move like without
Have you seen Half-Life Alyx, the gameplay demo?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen a little bit of it, but I haven't sat down
and how they just warp around.
Yeah, that's kind of like the standard these days. I think is like the warping around thing. which I don't like.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't like
But
it
it's
either.
it's like a workaround, right? It's like, yeah, we want to be able to move, but
Yep.
it's what do you
But
do?
you don't want to throw up.
Yeah, you don't want to throw up.
I think it's gonna become like I feel like VR will eventually become gesture based.
If you do this, you walk.
Well, not maybe, but maybe more like
that's good audio. If
That
you
walking
do this.
motion.
well, okay. I've talked in the past about how I really don't want to put my video game suit on to play video games.
Yeah.
Because that just sounds like a dystopian nightmare.
I know you don't want a dedicated room, right? You don't
Yeah.
want to.
Well, at least I don't want to have a dedicated room. I would love a dedicated room,
Would
but
you-
like I
you
don't
wanna-
have that room,
Right.
so I don't want to have something that requires that setup.
Yeah. I feel it's embarrassing. If
Oh.
you walked if you visit if someone like came to your house and you're like, oh, here's my video game room, and it's just like harnesses and like weird rigs and like
Blake,
goggles.
you're
and
living
suits,
in a very
and I'll be like, this guy. I don't know what you're
What's that
doing.
smell?
Yeah, I don't know what this guy's doing in here.
you're living in a very glass house right now. I gotta say, I'm looking around and I'm seeing Path of Exile maps and toys. I'm seeing a
Yeah, from
Pac-Man,
work. These are all from work.
a Pac-Man light.
That was a Christmas present.
Your computer setup, which is very clearly for games.
Yeah.
I see 3 controllers under your TV. Blake, come on.
You know what you don't see is harnesses and a
No,
suit from
because you're polite enough to put those away before we come over.
Yeah, I keep those in the other room. In my gaming room, my secret gaming room.
Not the kind of games we like to play. But I think ultimately, like, I can see like a Power Glove equivalent
Yeah.
Mm.
thing where you put on some gloves and it will detect like finger and hand movements,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it'll be like, okay, to walk you just open your palm.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh, like Connect.
well, yeah, but imagine Kinect, but you're wearing all of the VR. You're wearing the VR headset, and it's
Yeah.
all very immersive. And so instead of actually having to move your legs or
Yeah.
whatever, it's just like when your pinky is sticking up, you run, and when your thumb is sticking up,
Yeah,
you walk or
maybe.
whatever. And then like the rest of it is just sort of natural grabbing stuff.
Yeah.
I can see that being the direction that it goes in. I've also seen like those 3-dimensional or 360 like treadmill
Yes, that's
setups.
That's what I'm talking about. Is embarrassing.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing where it's like that's really cool in theory.
Yeah, in theory.
Yeah, I can't see myself owning. one
Also,
of
do you
those.
want to like if you're playing, say you're playing like Last of Us,
Mm.
playing that for like 6 hours.
Yep.
And if you're playing that in VR on one of these treadmill things, I mean, you're just running for 6 hours.
Yep.
Like you're gonna be exhausted.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can actually enjoy that.
Right.
Well,
Well, no. Blake is right. There was a.
you can't enjoy that.
Well, okay.
I think you'll enjoy it for like maybe an hour at the most, and then you'll just be like, I'm too tired. I need to sit down.
There was a guy I remember years and years ago. There was a guy who made a treadmill for World of Warcraft that would match your movement to the character.
Oh yeah, I did see this.
And the problem is, your actual character's movement is really fast relative to actual human movement. And so
Oh,
when you're walking on that treadmill or running even, you're like going at quite a slow pace in the game world.
Okay.
And that's just because like it's not fun to move slowly, and you want the world to feel like a big place.
Mm-hmm.
And this is true probably for almost every open world game. You probably end up moving several times
Oh yeah.
normal human movement rates. And so trying to sync that up to actual human movement in a game where it's meant to be realistic, I assume like The Last of Us. I don't know if you move really quickly in that game. I would guess probably not. Maybe you can probably dash.
Yeah, you can dash, but
But if
otherwise
that
like,
requires you to
slow.
dash in real life,
Yeah.
you
Throw
will,
a hip out.
yeah, you will
Yeah.
find yourself getting
Yeah.
very tired very quickly.
And like, dude, we played laser tag.
Yep.
How long did we play that for? An
Oh,
hour.
I think it was about an
yeah.
hour.
We would. I was exhausted
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
know,
That's done.
and that was not even running. That was just walking a little bit fast
Yeah.
Yep.
and crouching
and
sometimes.
crouching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man.
VR. That's why I keep wondering why mecha games aren't coming back in VR
No.
because it's all cockpit related. You're all
Yeah.
sitting down.
There was I think I may have mentioned this when I worked as a games journalist. Within the first month there, I met a guy who was really, really into Steel Battalion.
Yep.
And that was the one that had you could buy like a
Yeah.
$300 battle station thing.
Yeah.
And he had it, and it's like
Wait, what's the battle station?
you have like two different like levers.
This is one of those embarrassing things that
Yes.
if you saw a room of that, you'd be like,
I believe there were
it's like
pedals.
a flight stick.
I'm pretty
kind of
sure. I'm pretty sure there's like
Yeah.
a flight stick equivalent thing. A bunch of levers, several pedals, tons and tons of buttons for like
Yeah.
switching weapons and doing specific movements and like, and it was all like the game prided itself on the complexity of controlling a mech.
Mm.
And to use the battle station was really, really, really hard, and he got really good at it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
cool.
watching him actually use it was really impressive.
Wow,
Yeah.
Cool.
Because it was like, okay, so I'm just going, and he's like moving, touching all of these
Yeah.
things, and the mech is like turning, and like the top half is turning independently of the bottom half, and it's like, wow,
That is like a flight sim for
yes,
mech.
yes, exactly. It's a mech sim.
Do you remember they tried to put Steel Battalion out on Kinect?
Did they?
It was a horrendous disaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I think that might have. I don't know. I'm not really like kept up with the Steel Battalion news,
Does it
but
still exist?
I feel like that
now,
might have tanked the
Yeah.
franchise.
so to
that-
speak.
yeah. Yep.
Meched.
Yeah. Mech that franchise. But that franchise is perfect. Or any mech game like that, flight sims,
Yeah.
whatever, perfect for VR. But people keep trying to make the same. Oh, you're walking around a spooky house.
Yep.
Ooh,
First person something.
First person. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does have to be the sort of game where you are stationary
Mm.
or where you are manipulating something
Yeah.
rather than moving around.
Yeah,
a
it's
bunch.
either like it's the games that seem to be getting made are like, oh, you're walking around a spooky house, or
You know what?
you're
It should be
you're
a,
sitting somewhere like manipulating.
It should
like,
be a Being John Malkovich type video game. Where like
where
just,
you're not necessarily in control of the movement.
no, you're just on the couch.
you're just watching.
Yeah.
You've got a John Malkovich
Man.
controller in front of you.
I would love
Yes.
I would love a being John Malkovich game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love that. Hey, developers out there that aren't me,
Man.
make it happen.
That yep, it's pretty great. You do a Ratatouille
Oh, yep.
game as well.
Yep.
You're the mouse.
You're just looking at the inside of the ship.
Inside of a hat.
Yeah. you're just tugging on tufts of hair.
There's several Pixar movies actually that work
Yeah.
with that theme. Inside Out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, Blake, you been playing anything?
Yeah, I've been playing AoE 2, the definitive edition.
Area of Effect 2.
AoE
The
Effect,
yep.
yes. Yep.
I've heard of that.
Um,
You mean Age of Empires?
I mean Age of Empires
Okay,
2.
good.
Yep. I talked a little bit about it last time, but I
Yep.
played way more of it now, and like, dude, that game. There's so much. It's sort of overwhelming because it comes with like all the expansions,
Yeah.
a whole bunch of like these scenarios as well.
Okay.
And I go in there and I'm just like, where do I even start? This is crazy.
Level 1.
I don't even know what level 1 is. It's just like,
Start game.
do you want to do the European like
Yes.
expansion? Do you want to do the African expansion?
Yes.
The American expansion?
Yes.
It's just like, it's so much stuff.
Choose
it's
one.
insane. Well, I did.
Which one?
None of them. I chose this.
I chose multiplayer and I got my ass beat.
Actually, I chose actually to begin with, I chose like skirmish, so I was just playing against random AI.
Uh-huh.
But I started playing a there's these historical battles which are like they're under the title historical battles, but they're like just these big scenarios.
Mm.
And I started one where I'm Vikings and I've landed near York, and I have to set up a little like base, go out, take over towns.
As Vikings, you have
At-
to set up a base.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's Age of Empires.
Renowned Vikings, renowned for as being settlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get Viking ships so you can like raid the coast and
Oh,
stuff.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
but you're basically setting up a base, building walls, building castles, and then building an army, pushing out, taking over these towns.
Mhm.
Taking over, like when you take over towns, you get resources because you're sort of like raiding them. And then what I was doing was like I had my sort of main base, and I was just continually having troops be made to reinforce the ones I lose out in the field.
Yep.
And as I've gotten further and further away now, I've had to I've got to set up a second base to like reinforce from there. So
Yep.
I've like, and there's like I found it was kind of like I had to scout for a good location to set up the second base that had like enough resources because my main area was sort of like starting to run out. So I was like, oh, I've got to set up
Getting
like a
depleted.
getting depleted. And like as you progress through, you're just taking over like little city villages and you're just destroying them, and you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty easy. And then you get to like the bigger cities that have like multiple castles and like multiple walls of defense.
Right.
And it's like now it's like some serious business of like, oh, I got to get some trebuchets in here and stuff like that. And like,
Did they have trebuchets?
Vikings?
Yeah.
I don't know, but like the faction stuff is like your faction is called like Vikings, but really it's like it's got the same units as everybody else. You've got knights, and
All right.
knights.
What?
Or cavalier. You got crossbowmen. You've got it's all.
I
that.
guess the Vikings did have
The only
some of these things.
the only like Viking unit is you've got these boats. And
Longboats.
yeah, you got longboats, which annoyingly you get them early on, and you can't make any. So
that technology is lost.
I was just using them. I was sort of like just using them, sending them out on suicide missions to like destroy coastline settlements, thinking that I could just rebuild them, and then I realized, shit, I can't even build a single like standard warship. So it's like these are the only boats I've got, and now they're like a commodity. So I'm like, shit, I'm not going to use them for anything, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's really cool. But that's just one scenario of like a dozen, and there's so much to do. It's unbelievable.
That's great.
Yeah. And like, what else? Oh, there's something I've sort of like realized, and this is a little bit like Civ, where I wish that.
Oh, don't tell me that you wish there was like an infinite mode or like. Oh,
close.
God.
So
Wind conditions. Turn off wind conditions.
turn off all the wind conditions. So like, the idea of that game is to progress through these ages, right? Age of Empires. You start off in like a Stone Age, and then you move to like medieval age, and then up to like Imperial Age or something. But when you're playing in like a skirmish mode, like all you care about is rushing to get to the Imperial mode, and then you start kind of playing the game. What I want is something where I actually cannot upgrade from Stone Age for like maybe an hour or two, So you have like Stone Age battles and warfare, and so when you do upgrade, it's like a huge big deal.
Yeah.
Or make it just like I downloaded a mod that doubled the resources required to upgrade.
Okay.
But it was still I had some little battles.
You got to triple it.
Yeah, I maybe even more, man, 5 times. Like I want it to be. This is a huge upgrade. Like it should be a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Hey Blake.
Yeah.
Try playing multiplayer. See how that goes.
Try
playing multiplayer and tell me how that rush
That's not
age
his
is.
point. That's not what he's getting at.
I'm not playing multiplayer. I don't want to play multiplayer because I know people just rush to knights and then that's it. That's it. They'll just rush to knights. They'll build castles as like 100 castles as a wall, and then they just go from there.
I think you would be surprised that like they will probably build units in their first age. And
I don't think they will.
And I think they will rush
the meta 20 years ago when I was playing was to rush to knights.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I played a game called I think I talked about this on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Empires: Dawn of the Modern World.
Yes.
Very similar mechanically in that like you advance through various ages, except you start off in like medieval ages and you end up in World War II.
Oh, cool.
So it's like it's a big time jump throughout the game. And people would fight each other in the first age, and then the second age, and then the third age. And so like the rate at which you progress does matter, because if you rush too early, you're not going to have enough units to defend. And I always liked that.
Yeah. I don't know. I like I'm not big on multiplayer on those games. It stresses me out too much. I like to just play against some computers.
Right.
Take my time.
Yeah. So people are too good.
Yeah, people are too good. That's the problem. I'm not good enough for this online thing.
What difficulty are you playing on?
So I started off on. So when I first started playing, I hadn't played in 20 years, but I'm like, I got this game.
Yeah.
Highest difficulty.
Oh no.
Got wrecked.
Yeah. Did you get wrecked before you rushed?
No, they attacked me with knights. They rushed to knights.
Okay.
Yeah, they rushed to knights. And what was a bummer is that I was actually lasting quite long. I thought was pretty good. Like I had stone walls all around. I was like, I had a proper kingdom. I had a castle and everything. And I was like, this is pretty great. I'm doing well. And then like I saw some knights just on the edges out in the fog of war. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking take these guys down. Sent my whole army out. They just got wrecked by these knights. And then I had a problem where the gate. So they started fighting at the gate.
Yeah.
And so the gate was open.
Yeah.
And they just poured in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, it all went wrong.
Somebody
it was like a soldier basically just was like standing at the gate being like, I got this.
Can you make
leave the gates
brick
open?
walls around?
You can make walls.
Yeah, but it'll take time.
Okay.
Not while they're like invading. They'll just like wreck the peasants.
Yeah.
But you can, like, something I did forget, you can just lock the gate, so I should have just like locked
yeah,
the
you can.
Yeah. But at the time I was like, oh, this game's done. I feel like I've lost.
Interesting.
And then I turned the difficulty down a bit since then.
So you want one where each age is much more heavily emphasized. Basically.
Yeah, that's the
it's
same.
Much harder to advance.
That's the exact same feeling as I have in Civ.
The problem with that is, if you put too much emphasis on any individual age, the correct strategy, I think, is always going to be rush to the next age.
Sure.
Even if it takes a really long time.
Yeah, but at least during that long time, you can build up. That, like, my point is that during the Stone Age, I just don't bother building any units because, like,
do you think you would if the cost was tripled?
I did, because then I could go out and like actually fight some people, and I fucked up some AI.
But I think a lot of players, if that was let's say that was the default upgrade cost.
Yeah.
I don't think the strategy would change. It would just become
longer,
much more boring.
Maybe that's just me. I like long, boring games.
Yeah, I think that is just you, actually. Let's have a look at the scorecard here. No Man's Sky, Civilization on the longest turn type with no win conditions.
Well, hold on a minute as well. Age of Empires, you can also change the game speed.
Oh no!
I have it on the slowest.
No! Why? Why, Blake? Oh my god! Blake White. Email Blake White at Front Seat Gamer. Oh!
But I do admit it is too slow, so I changed it.
Too slow for Blake.
Well, the problem was like I want the upgrades to be slower. I don't want the units to be slower. So on the slowest, like everything is universally slower. So your units just look like they're walking through like molasses or something. They're so slow.
Jesus. Oh dear.
But in Age of Empires, not in Age of Empires. In Civ, like the units still move the same speed. You know,
it's turn-based.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's turn-based, but it doesn't take any extra turns for them to move anywhere. It doesn't take like if it took one turn for them to move here, it doesn't take two.
The rate at which things are built.
Yeah, and that's what I want. But
so what do you think of all of this?
What I find funny, what I find strange, and I guess this just shows.
You find it kind of funny. You find it kind of strange.
I find it kind of strange. Like, I guess this shows that I'm just a unique weirdo because there's within the client there's these mods. Like it doesn't have Steam Workshop built in, but it's got their own custom mods. So you just go to mods and it's got this giant list of mods that is like, you know, always being updated. They don't have any that slows down the game the way I want it. They've got one that doubles the resources required for just upgrading to the next thing, but other than that, it's like nothing. The majority of things are speeding up upgrades, speeding up resources, speeding up everything.
Pick them up and then just like edit that.
Yeah, I need a special editor. That's what I was thinking. I even like
Notepad that shit.
It's not Notepad. You need something. Yeah, that's okay. I got Notepad plus and was like, I'm gonna do some shenanigans.
You need a Notepad plus.
Yeah.
What exactly do you want? Because what you said is, they don't have the mods you want.
Yeah,
they've got a thing that doubles the cost to upgrade.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. I think that's good.
Okay, what's the next step?
I think I that upgrade. I just want it to be so that like all the upgrades that you get,
Yeah,
including the
like unit upgrades.
unit upgrades, that you really feel them.
Yeah.
Like this is a major thing, upgrading from your basic unit to the next, like
Sure.
to a swordsman, from a
Okay.
like a Stone Age guy to a swordsman is
Yeah.
like, this is a major like upgrade, and it gives you a major advantage over the people that you're fighting, because that's the way it was in real life. You got like Bronze Age people, and then when iron was invented, it was just wrecking all the bronze
Sure.
shit.
Yeah.
And so that's how it should feel. Instead, it's just like everybody rushed to Imperial, and we're all on the same playing field. So why don't we just start in Imperial Age? I want a game to I just want it to feel like a slog.
Yeah. That's typically what game designers try to avoid. We go out of our way to make sure it doesn't feel like a slog. It's interesting.
But look,
I understand exactly where you're coming from. You want it to feel a little more naturalistic.
Yeah. I want there to be Stone Age wars, and they be like, shit, this is crazy. What are you doing? Oh, God, he's broken my.
I found it.
Again.
I found it. It's fine.
I try to nick-proof it before I give it to him. It's even not connected to the internet, just so he doesn't like mess with it. I've locked the screen rotation because he's buggered that up from time to time.
I am a
and still
child.
Something's happening. I don't know.
Turn touch off.
Yeah, turn touch off. It needs to be a child lock.
Yeah, put fingerprint requirement on.
Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I want it to be like
molasses is what you were saying.
not
No?
So, what do you think of this?
I don't get into it. I haven't played a good strategy game in a while.
Okay, your favorite game, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. Yep.
Is it? Would you say that's true?
I think so. Yeah. Right now.
Yeah. Fairly slow moving at times.
Oh, the slowest.
See,
yeah.
that's exactly the same thing. You feel it.
Hey, I've got a
feel
game
yourself
for
taking that shotgun out. You feel like you're really preparing for a fight when you're going into it.
Blake. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Red Dead?
Hey, Blake, did you finish Red Dead?
No, I'm still going now.
It's a simpler time.
Yeah.
When was the last time you played it?
Before December.
That was 3 months ago at least.
I think so.
Why did you stop?
I don't remember.
Was it because it was too slow?
No. Oh no, I know why.
Too quick?
This is dumb, and this was just me. I sort of got I got focused on trying to upgrade my gear. Like I really wanted a bigger carrying thing, and I wanted this squirrel pelt thing.
Yeah.
And I got I spent days hunting squirrels and trying to get like perfect squirrel pelts.
Yep.
And it just burned me out. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to take a break, and then I just haven't like gone back to it.
Yeah.
When I go back to it, I'm going to be like, I got to play the main missions.
Mm.
Like I did play it, I think in November or something.
I'd be interested in what you think of the main story, and twists and turns. And
Yeah.
stuff.
I spent too long just doing like bugger around
Side missions?
stupid stuff. Not
your own side.
Yeah,
missions?
my own side missions. That's the problem. Like
Yeah.
I got so annoyed with these damn squirrels.
Mm.
They're too quick.
They were
They need to slow down.
so annoying. And that's basically when the game just became not fun to me. So I just have to not worry about that and just be like, screw it. Because it was awesome until I started doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Still, I started, focusing on gameplay stuff like upgrading things and being like, I want to get this. I want to get this perfect whatever pelt and stuff.
Do you think, Saveun, that game should be slower?
No.
I think it's a good speed.
Yeah.
Do you think
like
it should be faster?
Some parts might and should be.
What
Okay.
parts exact are you thinking?
Like I just don't like picking up things.
Oh yeah, that is a bit of a annoyance.
Only because the system seems to be I have to stand at this position
Yeah.
in order to pick this thing up. I in that case, I think he should just reach to the left. You know?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
He shouldn't need to position himself to
Yeah.
pick up flowers or whatever.
Yeah, I think like things aren't highlighted that well, I think, for picking stuff up.
It's mainly a button prompt. That'll show.
Because like going back to Last of Us, things
Oh
are
they had that
very
shine.
clearly. Yeah, you can clearly see what you can pick up, and it's not that intrusive in the gameplay either.
You can do the Deadeye thing.
Yeah,
that survivalist
to
show things that you can interact with,
right?
herbs,
Predators,
predators, that
maybe
kind of
Squirrels.
Squirrels. Yep.
Yeah,
You can do that.
yeah.
All right. I am going to read out.
You're gonna read
don't
out.
do it.
We've got some very long questions
Nick
here.
got a huge compliment.
Yes, I want to say thank you very much. This is from DJ Paragon on Twitter, who I believe has now listened to all of our episodes.
Yeah,
which is
Good stuff.
he marathoned it.
It's 116 more episodes than I've listened to.
It's true. I've listened to them all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You and DJ Paragon,
Yeah.
I think, have a lot in common now.
Yeah.
But he just said the most lovely things to us, but in particular to me.
Cool.
And I want to thank him very much.
You're
for
a good host, Nick.
Yep.
Thank you, Saveun. You're a good co-podcaster.
Go.
What would you consider your role?
Guy on podcast.
Yeah, you're a good guy on podcast. And Blake, you're also here.
Thanks, Nick. It's good to be here. I'm just happy to be here in my own home.
Yeah, we let you live here. So I just wanted to mention that was a really lovely thing. We love hearing from you guys. It's always great.
Yeah,
even when it's
great.
Blake Y. In fact, especially when it's Blake Y.
Why?
Yes, exactly.
Why?
Yeah, precisely. So if you want to ask Blake Y, you can tweet at FrontSeatCast. You can email frontseatquestions@gmail.com. You can talk to us on Facebook, facebook.com/FrontSeatCast. Our YouTube page is youtube.com/FrontSeatCast. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/FrontSeatCast. Blake got upgraded internet, so he might be twitching.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Ooh,
I
fiber? You're on it?
I got the fastest fiber you can get.
Whoa.
I think it's gigabit, something.
Yep.
Gigantic fiber. It's called.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really hard for him to plug in because it was moving around so much.
Twitching.
Because it was so fast.
Oh yeah. It was fast.
So fast.
Hard to catch.
Yep.
Yep.
We've also got a WordPress site, frontseatcamera.wordpress.com. You can catch us on there and leave us comments. Did you guys want to read any questions?
I mean, you got the tablet.
Yeah, they're real long. There's one about
There's one about graphics cards that might be.
Do you want me to read that one out? Okay.
Yeah.
This is from My Economics 101. Upgrading from a 1080 Ti to a 20XX Super is not worth the money because you won't even get 30 to 35% more with any current NVIDIA upgrade. If you are into the RTX, it's a different story. Wait for the next generation. 1080 Ti was an outlier. NVIDIA put that thing out at ridiculously cheap prices back in anticipation of Vega as a preemptive strike, which AMD threw around pre-release with 2 times increase here and there. And then it turns out Vega is a hairdryer with extra functions for gamers with big power supplies.
Oh man.
Sick burn. Yeah, I think I got a 1070 when it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the most recent set of graphics cards have been kind of not huge upgrades. I understand it.
Well, they have that RTX thing.
Yeah.
Which NVIDIA was definitely marketing.
Yeah.
But yeah, performance-wise, I think. Well, I'm just waiting for these 30 series right now, which are apparently going to come out in a couple months.
Oh, cool.
Or a few months.
I might be looking to upgrade now because I got a 980 Ti or something.
Nice.
Yeah, from like 5 years ago now, I think. Yeah. I think it's time.
Do you play graphically intensive games? Like on your PC?
Age of Empires, man. What are you talking about?
With ray tracing?
No Man's Sky.
Oh, man. Let me think.
Because it's hard for me to justify it outside of, I guess, Control and Red Dead with the last ones.
The Witcher was kind of like the last... Like, I got that graphics card to play The Witcher. But like... Oh, actually, because Cyberpunk's coming out soon. So maybe I'll be like, that's my justification.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for the question. We've got lots of others, but we'll get to them eventually. or we won't. We'll see.
Some of them have been in there for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Shorter questions are better for the podcast format. Yeah. That's just how listening be. But we'll be back in a couple weeks. And we thank you for listening. Thank you, Saveun and Blake, for being here.
Do you have some teasers for the league coming up?
Oh yeah, I did want to
You're
talk
doing
about.
patch-
Oh,
I
that's right,
did.
yeah.
I did
Patch
want to
notes?
mention this. I haven't been playing anything recently because I've been playing a little bit of stuff here and there, but not much of anything substantial. Mostly because I've been working on patch notes, and I wanted to mention this is a teaser. This isn't being patch noted, but there was an issue in our issue tracker submitted by Felipe, one of our effects artists.
Man, don't just throwing people under the bus.
He's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude. I really like
Okay.
Felipe.
Mhm.
But this issue made me very angry.
Give him the sandwich, man.
Yeah.
The title of the issue was Fix Green.
Mhm.
And then I click on it because I'm like, fix green, what is that?
Mhm.
And the text within the issue was fix green.
Mhm.
Is this
The
an
end.
issue for himself?
That
I-
no,
I think he fixed the green.
I
in that.
think it went. I think it actually went to Jackson.
Ah.
I think
For him
I
to
think-
fix the green.
she had to fix green, not
Huh.
the green, just green,
Fix the green.
just fix green.
Green.
And I'm not patch noting that because
You could just
what do you
write,
say? Just fixed
the
green.
green has been fixed.
Fixed green.
Players have been complaining about the green, and now the green is fixed.
The green is broken. It's not anymore.
Upgraded the green.
Nobody fixed it. They didn't upgrade it. It was broken before.
Yeah, I mean,
Now-
if that's,
now
that
fixed
sounds like
green.
an upgrade.
Anyway, we'll be back in a couple weeks. See you then. Bye. The old Jack and Splat.
Oh, fuck it. That's next episode.
Oh my god. Oh man, I said that in the office, and Reese gave me a very weird look.
Jack and Splat.
Jack and Splat.
It's pretty great. That is it. What I think it's referring.
What do you
No,
think it
it's
was
not.
referring to?
It's not.
No.
Well, hang on. What do you think it's referring to?
Put your mind in the gutter for a moment.
Okay.
And now take it out the gutter.
Oh, now it's all covered in grit.
Now it's all
Grit?
covered in Jack and Splat. I didn't even get it when you were like freaking out.
I know. No one did. I was like, you sure you guys want to call it that?
And then afterwards I was
one
like,
by
oh.
one, it went around the circle. We were playing, and do you want to hear about?
We're playing Jack
Sure.
and Splat.
We're playing Jack and Splat.
What
And it
the
got
hell
real
is
messy. No. We were playing Rory's game.
Mm-hmm.
And Blake's character is called Jackalow Bartleby.
Mm.
And Jake's character picked up Jackalow and then was going to hurl him in a maneuver that I think Blake called.
No,
Jake called it the Jack and Splat.
Mm.
Because Jackalow, and he's going to throw.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to splat on the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, is that really the name you want to go
And
with?
then everyone starts going, yeah, Jack.
Yeah, Jack and Splat. And I'm like, are you sure? And then, like, just one by one, it was like, I think Blake maybe first, but still like 30 seconds after he said it.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, I think Jake, and then Steph eventually, and then Rory finally.
Yes, that was definitely the last. Oh, yeah, Rory. Yeah.
But I think it was like a good 2 or 3 minutes
Oh, yeah.
afterwards that the last person was like,
Jesus.
oh!
You straight away, though. Just, your mind is in the gutter all the time. That's
true.
That's the thing.
All right.
No, what's actually true is I listen to the words that come out of my mouth.
Oh. Pro tip, man.
I think Jake, the guy that said it, didn't get it for like a good minute.
No, you really didn't. Oh, dear. Okay. We good?